Um, right. Hey, hey, TK, what's up, my man? Finna go over another track. I guess I'm just gonna get right into it. So the track today that I'm gonna do is this, like a more heavier, dancey one called France Mars, which is, I mean, all these are off the new album. This is kind of like a little leak thing, but yeah. So this one's really fun. It's like a dance pop kind of. But I really wanted to expose all the sample work that I got into because there was a lot, and it was just really fun to do that. So here's the track. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Hold on. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Yeah. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. I could take you to some places that you'll never see. Look up the music with the faces of the magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never be, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Or maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France,
Yes. So this this song is is based on this big chop that this big this giant chop of this bigger of all these other samples, and they're all going together and they really are a mess. I was listening to this a minute ago before I was going to start the stream, and they're a mess. But I really like. I mean, they're great. It's perfect, but it's a mess, and so it's so cool how you can take something that's like not really supposed to work together and just like keep it in your ear, and the key is all there. So here's all the samples together. Here's where this song started as. And I mean, it really started with me hearing this other song, which I'll play in a minute, but here are all the main samples. Very messy. That's the main one, obviously. And that is, well, it's a resample at this point. But it's a song by France Gall, and I can't play it, but it's called Évidemment. It's a French song, and it's just that tiny little that and this and this. And I was just messing around, so I had that song, and because I heard that song and it really was awesome, and I really like listening to it. A couple years ago, when I was working at this corporate job, commuting a whole bunch back and forth, would listen to the same songs a lot, like every day, and that was one of them, and it was just really stuck in my head, and so I put the song on the 404 and just started chopping up pieces of it, and ended up with these three little sections. And those really just kind of they said what they wanted to do. It felt like the groove was already just kind of like I mean it just kind of, so I played around with that until I found a pattern that I liked, which ended up being this. Oops. We'll just go. And so what's cool about working with samples is you can you have the you can have the little piece that you chopped up, and you can take that, make it into a whole other rhythm little piece, like we heard that little dun 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 bum 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 bum. But then also, if you're staying in the same key as the sample, like if you don't change the pitch or anything, you can grab the actual piece of the song and use that as like a textured underlayer kind of thing. And so this one right here is the actual song that this little chop came from. Still the France Gall thing. And you can kind of hear where those chops came from. And I needed, I mean, so then, you know. And the reason I grabbed that is because I had that chop from before that just sounded fun, that freaky one. The what the whole basis of this track is. And when we play this live, that's going to be someone's entire job, is to keep this one going the whole time. Because it just goes. So we have that. And then that with that one. So they're still in the same key. They're messing with each other. It's kind of being held. And I really wish I remembered why I wanted to. Sometimes samples just kind of. I was in a session earlier today, and I wanted to use this song as the basis for this track, and it just kind of popped into my head, and I was like, let's just go with that. And this just came in there, and I mean, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes the ones that pop into my head are in the same key as like the sample or something. So there may be something to that. But this is the this is a piece of the Gladiator soundtrack by Hans Zimmer and Lisa Gerrard. So this is what that sounds like. And again, it's in the same key. And I just you just kind of hear things, and you keep music in the back of your head forever and ever, and they just pop up when you need it. And that's definitely what happened here. It's in the same key. It's very, very not that chopped. I had to drag out a piece of the beginning that. And Lisa Gerrard sings in like her own made up language, which is really cool. And so nothing's really interfering with anything. And it really, I mean, and so, yeah, adding in this one. So cool, but so busy still. And I mean, together it's really hard to. When I first played this initially, it sounds so messy, but it's starting to kind of come together. And I mean, yeah, that's worked up. That's sample work. I mean, they're all smashed together to make a new, like, song, or a new sound, kind of like an instrument, like they're all working together. And then we have like, maybe like we would resample all these together into a new track. Not necessary. Just to smash them together. Sometimes it's nice to commit to the bit, and just deal with your stuff and get it locked in with each other, and then moving on, so you can't mess with it later. But so we had these samples going, just going crazy, and it immediately felt like a dance track, just with that pop, 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 pop. And there I just let it ride, which is just wild, because it just. That's crazy. So out of time, not out of key though, and not really with a lot of percussion. So there's a lot of room you can use to build stuff in there and fake your ear. Like when I played this initially, that part didn't sound like it was messy. It's because your ear's been faked by all the rest of the percussion and how the drums are stabbing and keeping that pulse going, that tempo, and getting your heart in lock with everything. And so when we pull out and we go into the break, the dip dive over up into that break through the clouds kind of moment, it doesn't seem too busy. And I mean, there's also tons of synths, which we can get into in a minute. But after the samples definitely dictated the flow and how the song told me it wanted to be written. And after the samples came together, it just heard the drums. And I like to do this fun thing with drums where I take two kits. Let's say it says we have a 909 and the one called Minimal kit. They're just Ableton. This is Ableton's like recreation of the 909, which is awesome. And then one called the Minimal kit. And we'll take a kit and do them left to right. I'll take a regular pattern, regular drum pattern, duplicate it, left and right the channels. This is a lot of noisy, a lot of click clacky, but so by themselves I'll play one at a time. Here's the I'll turn these off. Here's the 909. Because I wanted to have that 4 on the floor, but I didn't want it to all come from the kick drum. I didn't want it to just be boom, boom, pow, 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 So I like that bounce, because the bounce comes from what's not there, like a space. Tick-a-dun, tick-a-ta. So that's nice, but oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, here's one. Right. Here's one. Here's the right. Which is good. And here's the left. So the same pattern, just duplicated with that space. Very cool. I know it's not called Minimal Kit, it's called the Detai Kit. And a lot of these Ableton drums just have built-in drum bus compressors on them, which is awesome because that thing sounds awesome. So there are the drums. That's just what the drums do. There's really no there's one breakdown section. And here we go. Of course, I mean, like I said, I want it to be like a 4 on the floor kind of thing, but not the whole time. But I like that break. It's kind of annoying. With the sample section, all these. I've got to try to work with the samples, rhythms, and what I chose to do with how I chopped up those pieces of those songs. The root note, the forced root note really holds everything together. If the samples are kind of floating in some sort of vague harmonic, bathtub, you can pull the plug on that bathtub by forcing a giant synth bass to keep the root note that you want to hear, that's definitely present in all these, into your brain a little bit. So here we go into synth time. This is a Serum synth. I don't use Serum that much, but I needed something fat and I wanted something modern. I just told somebody that I don't use virtual software instruments, but that is clearly a huge, not that accurate. I like to use real and virtual. I try to stay away from virtual though. So with the sample and the drums kind of dictating what everything was going to do, it still felt lost. We still felt like and DK's right, it did sound really good. That bounce is there without everything. And I'm pretty sure when I was writing this last year, I immediately went in to start and do vocals because it felt really fun. There's a energy with this song that's like really like kind of it just feels like like a little like not from this time, not from this world kind of thing. Just like really out there and just but like still with the dance. So and I really wanted to make it a real track, and so
but I wanna go to Mars.
I really do have a bad time with muting and unmuting my talkback channel in relation to what I'm trying to show off. I go with samples. We're going to play the samples. We're going to play the drums. And then we're going to add the synth bass because that is gluing everything. It's like that ladder. Just kept it going. So the samples aren't muddy anymore. They're being smashed to death by everything that the synth bass is doing, which is perfect, because then we can just start filling in all the little gaps. Octave time with the synth bass, just so fat. I had to mix this one so low. I think I pulled down 7 bumps, just absolutely peaking right now. But when I mixed this originally, I think I pulled down 7 decibels on the master, just because there's so much going on with the double drum kit, the double octave bass. We're barely even into synth world. So then let's just hear everything without the sample. We're going to go into synth group. These are all real synths. These are all my Alesis. This guy right here, which is a real synthesizer. I just keep the dust cover on it because the kitty cat likes to jump around and lay on it. And the Alesis QS6, and then my trusty Roland JX08 that we hear on just about everything. So these are them. Let's go through the synth group. So without the virtual synth, then I'm going to turn off the drums and we're just going to hear these. So they're really fat. This one's called the Journey synth. Because it's doing the guitar solo from Don't Stop Believing. That last the intro of the guitar solo for Don't Stop Believing is so I just hit the what key is this in? A. So they're just really nice to play on that A. All day recorded that. Nailing it. No, it didn't take me all day. I'm just saying I could do that all day. Let's see how long this take is. Oh, it's not that long. Let's see how long it's the front end. It's not that long. So we have Journey. We have Synth 3. That's just a nice pad in the background. Double that up an octave above it and split it left and right. And those are just moving chord chunks, and so we grab this. Yes, fill that in. Yeah. Yes, back. Yes. Max is the one I told that I don't use software instruments, and here I've been caught using a Serum synth bass, which is just highly embarrassing. Hi, Max. So then we have so I'm gonna add back in the samples. Getting busy. A little bit of that fake computer bass. Drums. We have guitar on this one too. It's really buried, but it's in there. It's super fun. That's Jake going crazy. I'm gonna play this whole part. This song was so fat. Everything got kind of smashed together. But I do really love that guitar part. The little ambient. This is in the build section. And it's fun because he's playing. God, you can just barely hear it. I'm gonna really send this live. I promise I'm gonna send this live because he is playing a little like a counter melody thing to the what I'm singing in the vocals. Da, 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 ba, ba, da, da, da. Okay, let's keep adding things. There she is, Miss Gerard. And okay, so yeah, sampling, man, like just get it all in there, like it's part of the band. You know, it doesn't have to be the whole song. You can just use crazy pieces of things. That's how I like to do it. I mean, not even with the rock band, like we use samples and we use fun like noises and other pieces of sound and like little drum breaks and songs and whatever. Like you could still play it. I played all these instruments. Like it's not like I went, downloaded these drum patterns from somewhere. Just kind of what I think what people are on more or less these days. But like. Listen to how the sample pieces I would be so this I'm not used to like working through tracks like backwards like this, so my flow on stuff is just fucked. So let's get my talk back and let's get my samples. Okay, so the samples. They're already kind of making that rhythm. Bring the drums. They do their thing. Super fun. And just like the Journey, just like Journey for real, that little piece is just in like one little section. I thought that would be funny. I guess sometimes you just have to give away your jokes. Hilarious producer gives away all his inside jokes that no one else got besides him.
She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Or maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. I could take you to some places that you'll never see.
Good Lord, this one was loud.
but it walks
And I'm still not really seeing where all that was coming from. But, you know, we're going to rock with it. I'm sorry for my people who are getting blasted by the ears sauce. Okay. Here we go with everything so far except for the vocals. So I'm just going to turn off the vocals and play the track. And samples. Then we with the synth background. More synth. Just a little made up melody line. Then we go. Big synth. Big bass. As he starts the guitar part. We're off with the sample, just rolling. And then I kind of take over right there with the more instruments and stuff. Oh, damn it, looped it. Okay, from this part, from the top, why not? Here we go, samples. Then we go synth. Then little lead. Then we go bass synth. Okay. Go. Just everything, everywhere, all at once. Very tight. Very tight. Now clear the room. Give some space. Let it breathe. Clear it out. Hey. Clear it out. Let it. Dude, bring the synths back. Bring the synths back with some more. There she's going with this one too. Bring it. Hey. Big build. Long build. Just pattern. Little break for some drums. There you go, Jake. In my defense, I kind of forgot that I put a Serum bass on there because I'll be honest with y'all, I haven't paid for the Serum subscription in ever, and it just hasn't expired. And I really thought that this was just an inert patch at this point. I don't really understand why this is still active. So yeah, we got one VST up in here. Okay, sing song. Well, the title word for this song was dictated by the artist responsible for this one. because her name is France Gall. And I felt like this was kind of like a psychedelic kind of take on just some sort of weird like journey or something. So we got a made up destination. We got a situation, off with the races. I'm going to play. Yeah, I'll do the vocals. The vocals are also really, really crunchy. And I just got to remember to solo the talkback first before I start showing off tracks.
I could take you to some places that you never seen.
Like, when I say these are crunchy, these are like dragged behind, like printed to a broken cassette and dragged behind a broken down Chevy C10 pickup truck down a dirt gravel road in the middle of summer.
I could take you to some places that you never seen. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Well, maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. I could take...
Crunchy. All that crunch is, I know I said on last stream that I don't, like plugins for sound creations is like kind of annoying, but that's where I got that drive from, was from this plugin called The Drop. I got this one maybe last year sometime, and I just really liked how it, like the compression on it was like really intense, and that fuzz that it gave added there was
I could take you to
just
some...
perfect. So here they are raw. Wow, I'm gonna have a lot to turn off. Okay, just give me 1 second. So we're gonna turn off all the things. Those EQs are not looking super great right now. But you know what? I'm proud of it. Okay.
To some places that you never seen. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never breathe, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Well, maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag.
Very quiet, but I had to turn him down like crazy because of how much drive I was pushing from that filter plugin. So I'm just gonna turn. It's just they're just super quiet, and they're really simple.
I could take you to some places that you never seen. The men that put their faces
So
up
on the
on
main
magazines.
ones,
The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid.
they're all split down the middle. I'm an asshole.
I could take you to some places that you never seen.
This one is kind of like a mono, like just a great chomping, stomping thumper. Not too worried about the mix. I just wanted the sounds to be there. So
I could take you to some places that you never seen.
on the main vocal, it's the EQ called Vocal Presence, the compressor called Sustain Lead Vocal, and then that plugin called The Drop. Turning them all back on.
I could take you to some places that
Mars.
you never seen. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never breathe, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Well, maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Well, maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show.
Really, really crunchy, distorted, fat, crispy. Hey, DK said sing along. That's what's up, dude.
I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Well, maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars.
I have the samples out right
But
now.
I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on my...
And I just wanted this one to be massive, just as much as possible, man. I love maximalist like art stuff that's like, I mean, look, this is what we got going on. Maximalist, out of place artifacts.
I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave.
Okay, I gotta turn back on this crappy mastering chain. I just put this one so loud.
I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show.
How much ambience all those samples add. Samples plus synths. So we're still just really keeping that groove from the sample going. Bum, bum, bum. And they're getting off time. That's what I was talking about earlier, how you're just going to get your brain is going to kind of keep that thump going from the drums. So even when they turn off, aggressive. That's really it. There's just the energy. Like we build that energy up with everything. It started with the sample, it started with that chop, with that little tiny hit. Maybe I should find a different word besides sample. I feel like that's overused. This sound. TikTok has told me that music is just sounds, which I think is the great secret I've been looking for this whole time. I'm just sound. What are you? I'm a sound guy. I'm into sound. I'm into hearing things. This guy. And it's obviously just a 4 pattern, and it's repetitive, and then the last one you do something different because it keeps your brain interested. Keeps my brain interested. And then back down. That's right, I chopped up Jake's guitar too to match the intro. It's really gritty. It's a fun little groove, man. I don't think there's really anything special about this. Everything's pretty messy. That part is especially nasty with how the rhythm of this part starts messing around. Then the regular one starts coming back. Just end it. I was thinking about doing like a longer thing, but this one is just short and sweet. The way the chops were just made it. It kind of just dictated something. I couldn't really have like I just didn't really want to do anything different with it. Maybe we'll draw it out live. Make it longer. Last stream I was listening to without drums. I'm gonna hear this one without drums too. Might sound kind of cool.
But I wanna go to Mars. I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The million perfect faces of the magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I can never leave, but I can never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Or maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars.
Interesting.
She said
It definitely is showing me how much the drums are dictating, like, oh, fuck it, that's why we have drums. That freaked me out yesterday too. Also, this mix is fucked because of that limiter that I put on the master to keep y'all's eardrums in check. But I'm gonna take it off because it makes the
She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Or maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France,
Fred's
but
here
I
now.
wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Trust me, I can't
sure can't.
She said France, but I...
That's the mastered version. Fred's here. Fred wanted to come say hi. He does like this song. He likes Never Sleep, France Mars, and oh yes. What else do you like, bud? What was the other one? News Today. You like it when I sing News Today. I sure do. 'Cause you're a big boy. Well, minor miracle I get anything done with this happening. Open door policy with his furry self. Okay. So, I mean, that's the track, man. Everything, it's just funny. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to clear these samples. I'm not going to clear these samples. I just admitted to using them. I'm not big enough for anyone to care. I'm not making any money off of this, which is why it's kind of great. But they are, like, in a certain way, right, Fred? Like, it's just weird. It's just weird to think about sometimes, like how you use someone else's work to make your own, whether it's like respectful or whether it's interpretive. And I think as a modern artist, you should be able to use all those tools to reference things and recreate things, but it shouldn't be the entire basis of how you build your art. You shouldn't download things you could otherwise create. You should download things that you can't create. You know, but you still use them in ways that are creative. Cat came in, I'm getting all philosophical. Tends to happen. There's just something you can there's something you can hear, whether it's in a rap beat or whether it's in pop music, whether or not the reference was genuine, whether it was there just to make money, you know, whether they're just reusing Genius of Love for the 500th time, whether they're remaking some old techno song into some new dance pop craze track. There's always references. There's always references to things, and there's always people making references to trick your brain into thinking that you've heard it before, that someone else, that they're the one that did it, or that, you know, they came up with it. And that's just the mind game of music. But in that same way, the whole idea behind that was the ability of sampling and was the ability to use someone else's work in your own without paying any real credit to it, except in being respectful in the way that you use it. So, yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to know what it is. In my opinion, you should know what it is. You should know where it came from. You should know why you're using it. And you should need it. And you should not be able to replicate it. If you're using something, if you're using a sample that is a you know, just a loop-based tiny little chunk of a recording, it just doesn't make sense to me to keep that, add a drum pad, add a bass, and then send it. You know, let's really explore what, like this one weird hit right from the beginning where all it came from, the France Gall song. I'm going to play that and just the vocals.
I could take you to some places that you'll never see. The men that put their faces up on magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Or maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I
There is where it is. There's that sample. There's where it's lying. It's not the song. Now we have the Lisa Gerard.
I could take you to some places that you never see. The minute put their faces up in magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never leave, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Well, maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. Said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars.
Say, Ace, you said not to do that. That's the whole song.
Trust me.
Damn right.
I can't be. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bags for the stars.
There are rules that you have to know, and there are rules that you can break. This is one of them. But if I hadn't shown this, you guys wouldn't have heard it, and you wouldn't have known that there was the entire piece of the Gladiator soundtrack embedded into my dance track. For 1, 2, I think the 16-bar rule is the one that I actually need to care about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the YouTube just got glopped on by the algorithmic robots recognizing sample selection. But this track has never been run by, or it hasn't been flagged by any of their little sniffers. Unless, of course, they learn to audit musicians' streams, which is like, now we're really in the getting into my business. Now they're really paying attention. If they paid attention, that would be awesome. I'd just take this one out and recreate it, sing it or something. But I mean, it needs it. It wanted it.
She said France, but I wanna go.
And then this one too.
She said,
we're gonna play this one.
I could take you to some places that you never see. The minute put their faces up in magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now.
Such a silly groove now.
You could never show.
It's almost,
She said,
that is a crazy groove. It's almost like some hippie weirdo psycho
she
shit.
said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars.
I don't like it.
She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars.
What a mess of a track, but it really came together in the end. Everything is just very smashed together. It's really perfectly balanced. Like, I just went in on this mix. I mean, I don't know how many channels there are. Many, what is it, like 30, 26? 26 plus some groups and stuff. Probably 30, 26, 30 channels. Excuse me. But see, hear the track, hear the finished product. hear it before it's done, and then chase that to the end, so you can get some sort of desired product without sacrificing like the process. Because if you can stay true on what your outcome is, the process is just the best. Then you're just filling in the pieces that were already laid out by your vision. You know, if you start with something that's already finished, you just work backward. Well, I know what the every next step is in reverse. I know what I need to do. Grab something, work with it, make it your own, make it something that you wouldn't need, that you need to use, that you have to have. It can't be unnecessary. It can't just be frivolous. End you up with a track. That's a fatty too. I've heard this song so many times, but I'm not tired of it. I love these tracks. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time. Got everything turned off on the master chain, so we just have the raw master. Hopefully coming through at... I messed this up yesterday. Playing the last track, playing myself out. Here's the song. We started with this. And then we ended up with this.
She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Hold on. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Yeah. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. I could take you to some places that you'll never see. Look up the music with the faces of the magazines. The money talks, but it walks kinda stupid now. I could never be, but you could never show. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Or maybe Greece, cause that's not quite as far. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. We leave tomorrow, pack your bag for the stars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. She said France, but I wanna go to Mars. Trust me, I can't make it.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate this. If you caught this, now in the future, do all the things you're supposed to do, like comment, share, subscribe, help me out, spend money on my music because it's really good, and it's wild that we just give it away for free. So everyone have a good day. Take care.